Good morning, everyone. I am outside in a different area, and I don't know if you can hear them, but you'll be able to hear, maybe you'll be able to hear coyotes in the background. And that's the one beautiful thing. I'm gonna move the camera a little bit more. When you go live, it's hard to set this all up. Sorry, guys. I'm not the best when it comes to this stuff. Um, but anyways, you might be able to hear some coyotes eventually in the background. They're out singing and talking to each other and all of that stuff. So it's really cool where I live in Arizona. Um, anyways, so I just wanted to check in with you all. And again, we're still in the energy of the Scorpio eclipse. And like I was saying yesterday, the Scorpio, Scorpio energy is very intense, and a lot of people, it's like I'm observing the external world and how it's affecting so many people, including myself. And it's about noticing and observing how you're responding to that. And I believe I mentioned yesterday that with Scorpio, um, it's again intense, but it's psychological. It's getting down to those roots that are in the mind. So depending on where it falls in your chart, it's going to be affecting you. And on the opposite side of that, it's the sun, where the sun would be in Taurus, would also be showing you some things. So what I teach is to be very observant the week of and the week and the week on the opposite side of the eclipse, just to see how it's really impacting you, and to be aware of that's where you are really being shown what needs to be pulled out from the root, so that you can no longer hold on to that anymore. And with Scorpio energy, it's very much holding on to a death grip. So I was teaching somebody the other day how Scorpio is the most powerful sign, but it's different in a sense of there's 3 stages to it, and those stages are Scorpion, Eagle, Phoenix. And so when and again, people who are Scorpio, hopefully they are able to eventually step out of the Scorpion phase, which is like toxic, victimhood, vengeful, you know, and just victim. Really, that's just like they see themselves as a victim of life. But again, we all have that in us. Um, so depending on where it falls in your chart, that's where you might feel like a victim. And or again, if you're at the Scorpion phase, that's where you could feel like the victim. But as you start to detach from that and recognize that we're the creators of our lives, of our reality, we're co-creators, I should say, co-creators. Once we detach from that and separate from that, then it can move us into the eagle, where we can get that eagle's perch and have a different perspective of our life. And it's like maturing us, and then we can eventually uh, move to again having that eagle's perch, and then shifting it to transformation and become the phoenix. Now, people who have like their sun, moon, or ascendant in that. They have more access to that power in a sense. But even if you have planets in Scorpio, angles that aspect it, it all depends. So I really dislike when people start talking about certain signs specifically, when they're like, oh, I can't stand that, Libras or Leos. And I used to do it, I can't stand Scorpios type of thing, like, because what they don't, when people say stuff like that, they don't recognize that that's actually an aspect of them, because we all have the signs within us, and we all have the planets within us that are amplifying certain signs. So, to me, it's a very dismissive way of not taking ownership for your own inner world. So that's something to think about. If you're new to astrology, even if you're well seasoned in it, do you blame other people for certain things, or do you dislike certain things about people? And that's just a reflection of yourself. You have that within you. Um, a lot of people that have been coming lately to me, they are wanting to transmute, and they are wanting to, which is very Scorpio, but they don't recognize what is holding them back. So a lot of it could just be their own shadow. And so if they're saying stuff like, I don't like this about certain people or certain things about that person, like, let's say, judgment, or they're too critical, or their energy isn't just good and they don't know why. Well, look at what it is and see that part of you in them. And that could be hard. And that's the victim of Scorpio. It's like, I don't know, like, this is all happening to me. This isn't me. This is all happening to me. No, it's not. It's part of your inner world, and you can transmute it into that phoenix, get that different perspective, that eagle perspective, rise above it, and then transform it, transmute it into something higher. So go, like, burn away the past and rise as the phoenix. So this whole week is going to be showing us that. This whole week, and actually the next 6 months. So be really patient with yourself. You're going to be having things triggering you, and it's going to come from other people. It's going to trigger you and amplify things from your outside world to get you to recognize your patterns, to get you to recognize what's going on. So I wanted to mention that, and let's get into the meditation. With all of that being said, let's set the intention for the meditation today to be, however you're going to be meditating. Your intention maybe is to notice how you can be more patient with yourself. So today you might notice me being a little bit more quiet, not wanting to engage much with the meditation, so that you can notice your inner world. What does patience mean to me? So I will be talking through the meditation, but I just don't know how often I will be. So we've been doing now 12 days of meditation, at least if you've been following it every day. If you haven't, that's okay. If you haven't, then if you're catching this on the replay, maybe this is day one, who's to say, wherever. I'll feel into it, how to navigate it, but it really is important for what it feels like to me is, how are you being patient with yourself and observant with yourself? It feels really powerful in this time right now. So get into your comfortable position. And I keep moving things because, like, my comfortable position is not totally comfortable right now. So I just want to get myself comfortable. Okay. All right. And you don't have to, if you're new to this, you don't have to sit in lotus flower position. You really want to just train yourself to be able to sit longer. And at least that's from my perspective. A guru or a yogi will tell you differently, probably. But this is what I've found in order to get into a position that I can sit longer, is just to see how my legs feel, how my posture is. So that's why I'm taking a little bit longer, because, yeah. Anyways, all right. Get into that comfortable position. Closing the eyes. Maybe if you're not ready to, you can open them a little bit, keep them open longer and close them when you're ready. Just checking with the breath. And maybe right now it might be required of you to deeply breathe. Take deep inhales. And audibly release. Deep inhales. And audibly release. Another deep inhale. And audibly release. And if you don't feel settled in the body after that, what's really good is to continue that deep breathing, but to go into that 7 to 11 breath where you inhale to the count of 7 and you exhale to the count of 11. And just redirect your body or your mind to the body and notice the posture. How can you elongate the posture, straighten it, sit up a little bit taller, or maybe if you're laying down, how do your hips feel? It's always a good practice to think of a string or a cord coming from the heavens above, entering the top of the head, going down into the body, and down and out the body into the earth, attaching to the core of Mother Earth, and just imagining somebody pulling up on that string, and just stretching the body a little bit more, raising the eyes, or raising the head and up, the chin up, focusing on that third eye center, maybe by looking out at the horizon. Or just focusing on the center of the forehead. And just remembering that the mind, the subconscious mind, is a child, and children lose their attention. They have a short attention span. So if your mind wanders, come back to your inner world. Gently redirect it back inside. Just say, I see you want to go do things. Let's observe what's going on. Allowing external noises as an opportunity to be thankful, maybe to listen to Mother Nature's song, its choir. And for some of you out there, this might resonate. When you take a breath, some of you might be musicians. So imagine that breath, maybe even your lungs, as an accordion. And at the bottom of the breath, it's a collapsed or pushed together accordion. And then when you inhale, you're stretching out that accordion to its max to play music. And then on the inhale, you slowly release, allowing yourself to make that song. So that might resonate with some of you, may not, maybe not all of you. And whatever you may be experiencing right now, if you're having any ideas, visions, the imagination rolling, detach from it and observe. Notice if there's any emotion. For some of you, you might be noticing how the spirit realm is talking to you. Just jot it down after the meditation. Coming back to the inner world. Reminding yourself of the intention. How do you respond to patience? To maybe even just the word patience. Or maybe your intention was, how can I be more patient in my day so that I can get that eagle's perch perspective. So any discomfort I'm feeling, I can transmute it, transform it into something higher. redirecting the mind, coming back, acknowledging that you might have wandered into uncomfortable feelings, uncomfortable sensations, maybe even uncomfortable thoughts. Coming back in and observing, being patient with yourself. And before you know it, 10 minutes has gone by. And if you heard that in the background, use it as a metaphor. Because maybe some of you were sinking deeper into that meditative space, and you're welcome to stay there. But there was a loud noise that just went by pretty fast. And it was almost like a angry noise about, at least me seeing those who are listening to this or watching this were like, I wasn't ready to end, and that's okay. You're welcome to stay in it as long as you'd like. But remember to set that intention for the rest of the day. How can I be more patient with myself and others around me? Because we are all a collective. And the more we can stabilize the energy, the more we stabilize other people. If we stabilize our internal world, we stabilize the external world. And this week is extremely important for that, not to mention the next 6 months. So be aware of that. How is my external world destabilizing me? How can I get the eagle's perch, rise above this, get a different perspective, and spirit or higher self, my higher consciousness, show me how to transmute that into something higher, to be the phoenix. So love and light. I'll see you tomorrow, and take care. Bye for now.